Hello, hello. Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'm going to say call on Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, giving all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, the King of Kings, the Lord of Lords, the God of Gods. There is nobody above him. There is no other God besides him. Much love to his only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai, the Adonai, Mama HaMashiach, the light of this world, and whom the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ and other names that don't have no power. Yahweh Shai is his name. Much love to the elect, the children of Israel, the chosen children that came back into the new covenant, whoever you may be among the children of Israel. Much love to the Akim, the prophets, which they don't be from a camp. They do things on their own or with a partner. Not too many of them. They do everything in their power to show Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai that they fear him and they love him. Much love to the Akwaf, the beautiful women that's in the truth, and it's not a lot of y'all women. Whether you got a man or not, you still fear the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You listen and you learn in silence. Today's, I don't really have a title for today, but I'm going to just follow up on King Yahweh the Maccabees about, I can just name this title Short Time. Short time. It's woe unto the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. I do believe, for the devil have come down on you, having great wrath, because he knows that he has a short time. So right now, a dark prophecy is manifesting right now as we speak. It's in the works, and 9 times out of 10, it will manifest. It will happen. It's already in the real world, from the spiritual world. You know, the prophecies that cross over through the power and spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and his word. It comes from the spiritual world to the physical world. And that prophecy is about the FEMA camps and the martial law. So martial law is not announced, but Donald Trump has used National Guard to lock up Washington, D.C., to go in on crime and gang violence, which is the first sign of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai starting to get at these wicked 2/3 of our people, and the first sign of the great race war that's about to take place. Rumor has it Donald Trump is trying to move in on Chicago and trying to lock up Chicago, and so on and so forth with every other state until he fully locked down. And the elites have absolute control over the United States, and they begin their eradication on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai's children, which is us, the children of Israel, because that's the one that stands. We the ones that stand in the way of rulership. He feels like if he kills us off, that'll stop Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and his coming. And Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, his son Yahweh Shai's second coming. And that would stop the apocalypse. So this is one of those ideas, but it was already pre-prophesied that this was meant to happen. So anybody that's not a part of the new covenant, anybody that's not believers that don't have the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, you know, most of us don't believe at all. You know, some of us believe in other things. Some of us worship false gods, mainly the rest of us that believe in Jesus Christ and Christianity, which is white supremacy, and they don't acknowledge Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know, today, Memorial Day, as much stuff is going down and much things is about to take place, and as much as some of our people are becoming more united, but they not under the banner Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. You know, some of our people are against, you know, the white man and his wicked agenda, but they still worship his holidays. So, you know, looking at that and that given, you know, everybody dropped everything that they was doing and went straight to worship in Memorial Day. And Memorial Day ain't even for the Israelites. We got our own holidays according to the Bible, high holy days according to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, that we celebrate and we worship Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai on these high holy days, and give all thanks to him. And it's way more better. It's way more better, much more unity, much more peace when you worship Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And even in ancient times when we did have it right, That's what we do. We worship Yahweh Shem Shai. Beautiful worship, nice parties, great festivities under Yahweh Shem Shai's authority. Way better than what we got going on, how we all scattered and we doing our own thing. No, when we came on the high holy days, we was all together, all of us. And I can only imagine a sea of tents and people and, wonderful festivals. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Nobody can celebrate better than Yahweh Shem Yahushai can, and his connection between Israel and his people. So before I go any more into my little personal lesson, I had to say something. The racism in America is becoming more and more evident, with these white men, and even some of our people that follow his ideology, the one like Mexicans and some of these Indians and even blacks, they follow the ideology of the white man and racism, which is stupid because, to be honest with you, I'm not a racist person. So I made up this saying, I'm not a racist person, but I know which side I'm on. I know I'm black, and when the time comes, I'm going to have to take my people's side when this battle starts to take place because I belong with them. It's not like I'm going to be neutral or I'm going to be on the white people's side. No, I take my people's side because they're the people that I love. We all the same color, and I take my side. And originally, I'm not racist. There's not a racist bone in my body. I don't like racist people. I don't respect them. It's evil. It really is evil. And I just don't like it. It's just not a part of me. I've always been a person to love everybody. I love everybody. I love all different colors. I love a lot of diverse people. I'm just a loving person. But, living in this world and learning and going through a lot of stuff, you realize how serious this racism is. You realize how serious evil is. You realize, encountering the wicked, encountering this and having these encounterments. Sometimes it might not happen in a while. Sometimes the Lord allow it to happen to remind you of the real world that you're in. And it's not about how you feel. It's about what you're experiencing, what you're seeing. And, it just reminds you of this wicked world and what you're dealing with, And it makes you choose your side. It does. It literally does. Like, nah, I'm going to just be with my people, Like, I love all people, but at the end of the day, I just can't do this. This is wrong. And, the white man got to go. I'm sorry. He got to go. He got to go. I was at work, and a shooting pretty much happened at my job. Some Mexican kids got drunk, and one of the Mexican kids was so drunk he was trying to break into people's cars, destroy people's property. Some old lady seen him. The old lady done called and warned other attendants about their cars. Some of the attendants came out and handled it. They beat the boy up, chased him out of the apartments. By the time I came to the side, it was already finished. I seen 3 kids running and some people chasing them off the property. And, I dealt with it. They ran into the other side of the apartments. I ended up kicking them out. 2 of the kids do live there. Hopefully they done found them kids and dealt with them. And hopefully their family is out of there because ain't no way you're going to allow that to happen. And the other kid that don't live there walked away. So, give her an hour or two. And they came back. And the little kid, not a little kid, but the kid, he threw a rock at the window of one of the people that came out to attack him, I guess. And was screaming and yelling, and I don't know, to what I heard, somebody fired a warning shot at the kid, or I think one of the kids had their own gun, and they like fired a shot in the air. They came back to retaliate or whatever, and I was outside. He seen me calling police. He was trying to come at me. I was gonna deal with it, but I decided not to because I was on the phone with the police. So I just went inside. This little gym area that I be at, locked it up, called the police. Police came out no more than 5 minutes later with all their guns and all that. Helicopter was there. Well, the helicopter came first, and then the helicopter left because they couldn't find the person. And then after the, rock hit the window and all that, they started all that shit. I called the police, so police appeared. When they have emergency like that with the guns and stuff, they immediately respond or whatever. They come with their guns drawn out, whatever. I come to talk to the police officers, and they was cool at first, but then when I asked them for a red card, one of them had immediately cut me off, talking about, listen, we're kind of busy right now, so you could just if you could just wait, we'll take care of you. And it's the way he did it. It's the way he did it. And people got energy, and you could pick up on these things. It's the way he did it. And I didn't even mean no harm. It was like he was trying to push me aside, like I was like bothering them or nothing like that. And I'm security. I'm doing my part of my job so I can make sure that I look good, for red cards, the security give it to the people. No, give it to whoever's above us, or management, and take pictures of it and send it to the supervisor. That way I'm doing my job, and what happened is documented. So I felt that energy off this one, short white guy, and I felt it. I knew it. I'm like, that nigga racist, because it's the way he said it, the way he did it, and I felt it, So the whole night, I asked the guy, this brown guy that I know, and he is brown, he my color, and but I think he Mexican or something like that, and he came, and he was like, oh, this is just another night, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, and I'm like, could you guys give me a red card? And it irritated him, but he not understanding that I just dealt with this one guy, and in my mind, I knew he wasn't gonna give me no fucking red card, man. He wasn't gonna give me no red card. I was ignored by him, and then next thing you know, when I was ignored by him, I felt it. So I was like, let me make sure that I'm getting a red card to this, getting a red card for my job, And how y'all doing? Y'all Israelites according to the Bible? You're Israelite according to the Bible? Well, it's a blessing to you, Have a good day. Huh? Oh, you noticed? Oh, thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. But yeah, man, this guy, I felt it, so I had to double down. Like when I do my job to the best of my abilities. Like I do my job, And what had happened was, I felt it in him too. Like, he got real irritated. I'm like, bro, I'm just asking you for a red card. So long story short, I felt it from 3 of them, but the other ones was just as ignorant too. They was all white. All of them were white, and except for one brown guy. I think he was Mexican, and they all just started driving away. Like, okay, if anybody would have noticed, like, all right, security need his red card. Just give him his red card. We can get up out of here. It don't take no more than like what, fucking 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And one guy, he was just sitting in his car doing absolutely nothing, and I came up to him after everybody drove off, and I'm like, can I get the red card? And he's like, all he do is say sorry, bro. And I'm like, you've been sitting here, like, I need my red card. Like, and he just ignored me, slammed the door, skirted out, and got on to the next emergency or whatever. But long story short, they had that prejudice energy. They was real racist. They kind of made me feel like I wasn't security, like I wasn't doing my job, and they didn't want to respect me, especially the way he cut me off. I could tell he was racist in how he was acting. He didn't want to talk to me. He wanted to talk to the old white lady, get her side of the story. And he was just really, like, the energy there was like prejudice. They didn't give a fuck, and they didn't care about my job neither. So, with that being said, with my little side story or whatever, the racism and the tension is getting higher and higher, and with these problems and with these things coming along, you got to be more and more aware of your surroundings and what's going on, because that shit was no joke. So we're going to go to Revelation, because this is the shit that's going to happen. Get over there. No, not the churches. This right here. Because right now what's going on is that they turning their hatred towards the more and more this racism is turned towards more the black people, but the black people aren't responsible for the collapse of the nation, and they're not responsible for all the terrible things that are happening. You know, with these Make America Great Again guys, these MAGA people, these racist white people come to find out racism is just a scam to keep these people, you know, focused on the blacks and not focused on their political, financial issues. They're not focused on anything else. They just focus on racism. So now we at that point to where racism actually got them in trouble, and these guys are on the downfall. They're on the downfall right now. So it says, this is Revelations 18, verse 1. It says, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. It says, and that could go into the collapse. You know, when all this should take place, it's going to be a lot of evil. It's going to be a whole lot of darkness. Nobody's going to come and help anybody. Nobody's going to come and save you. Nothing like that. And it ain't going to be nobody caring. Nobody give a fuck. You know, it's like that now. But when that dollar collapse and, you know, when these storehouses is empty, everybody going to be literally for themselves. You know, you'll be able to kill and get away with it. Type of vibe, type of situation. You'll be able to have to do what you can to survive, and you'll have to shoot your way out of situations. You know, you'll have to fight, stab, whatever you got to do. It's going to be a purge scenario, pretty much. That's what it is, and it's not going to be no law. So that right there is what it's coming to. It says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. It says, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So through trade, that's how the rest of the nations got rich. There's a lot of stuff that America trade, and it's a lot of stuff that the nations trade with America, because America is the heart of the trade. It is. It's where they get all the best resources at, and everything else. You know, despite what they got, and they got some pretty good stuff to trade. America is the best. You know, after what happened in slavery, you know, and all the shit that they came up on during the Israelites' time in bondage and slavery, they got rich, and to this day they still sell the same shit that they had came up on and made the Israelites work and make with no wage, no money, for free. Had them do it through slavery. So it says, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. So people are so stupid, they feel like in their minds, they feel like that precept in their mind saying to leave America. No, it's not that. It's meaning to come out of the ways of America, to come out of this, you know, way of thinking, the way of living, you know, all that smoking, drinking, all that drug influence, you know, all these wicked holidays, you know, the way they programmed you during school, all that shit. Don't be a part of that. But people are reading the Bible wrong. Like I told you, like last time I was online, I was recording, and I was telling you about that girl, and the way she read the Bible is so stupid and so fucked up, to the point to where now you just blaspheming the Lord, and now you just talking crap about the Lord and his son, and you're not even reading the Bible right. Because if you was shown how to read the Bible right, and you did your research, you know certain words, you've been taught, and you've been listening to certain people, then you would know that what you're saying is not accurate. You would know what you're saying is not true, and that what you're saying is all lies. So it says, one thing right now is certain, that the collapse is coming through the what's that called? Forgot this name. The inflation. Things keep getting higher and higher, and way more expensive. The elites is allowing, in the next 3 to 4 or 5 years, bread will probably cost like $15, man. $15 for a loaf of bread that was once probably like what, $2.80. This motherfucker done bumped up to $15 for a loaf of bread. A can of soda, is $6. A can of soda, it was once what? A can of soda probably was like $1.75. Now it's $6. You gotta understand, man. Like, they keep saying that it's not coming, it's not happening, but the Lord keeps showing signs. You got National Guard, you got martial law under the guise of National Guard, and this nigga Donald Trump keeps trying to distribute them to every state so he can get the race wars and the civil wars cracking, and the elites could take a crack out the Israelites and slaughter, Yahweh's people, the Lord's people. So that is another major sign that's happening. That's on track. So a lot of these people that's just non-believers, or they fools who hate knowledge, scorners that delight in they scorning, and fools who hate knowledge. It's people that exist that get a delight out of talking mess about the Lord, talking shit about the Lord. They talking shit about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua and his son. They dismiss the Bible, talking about the Bible is a bunch of BS, and it's really not. Because like I kept saying, the elites believe in the Bible, and they following the Bible's agenda. They literally are. Whatever. They believe in the Lord more than they believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahushua more than we do. They want to be his people, and the Lord don't accept them. The Lord just rejects them. But no matter how much they get rejected, they still want to take the Israelites' place, because they know the benefits, they know the positioning, and the reason why they do that is because you take the Israelites' place. If they could take the Israelites' place, they can rule again, and they can rule forever. See, now they know that their rule is temporary, and it won't last. So that's what they think. They want to come under the guise of the Israelites and be like them, and take their place. But it didn't work, and the Lord keep rejecting them. As you can see, what's going on in Israel, the Ashkenazi Jews, they being rejected by the Lord. They being rejected by him. The Lord don't want them. The Lord want his people. So for right now, these dark prophecies is manifesting. So I can't see how people is talking about it's not accurate, it's not true. The Lord ain't coming back. All of these prophecies was prophesied inside the Bible, bro. And what they said is true, and what he said is coming true. All of this shit is coming true. So, people is reading the Bible so fucking wrong. People is reading the Bible so fucking confusing. And then again, you got a lot of people that's actually reading the Bible right. They listening to the prophets, they listening to people, and they reading their Bibles, and they getting it right. And they know exactly what's going on. And that's another thing that's happening. A lot of our people is waking up. And then not just them, the whole world is waking up. A lot of people believe, and a lot of people know who the Israelites are. And they're starting to figure out that what's going on with these nations and Babylon, which is America, is all lies. It's all lies. I mean, all you got to do is read it, It's that simple. Let me get back into these scriptures. Because they reading this Bible wrong. That's why they talk about the Bible ain't true, or it's full of contradictions, or it says this and it says that, because you're not reading it right. And it's some shit that's that's right in your face. It's right in your fucking face. It's right in your face. And it's so simple to the point to where you should be reading it and you should be able to understand, but sometimes like I said in the Bible, the book is sealed. So people that read it, you can read this all day and not understand it. It has to be unsealed by Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So you can open your eyes and you can read the damn book. So it says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh has remembered her iniquity. So now how would the sins reach unto heaven? Like I told you, with that rejection, because the Lord don't want the white man to be the children of Israel. He doesn't want them. So they can't be a part of the, they not the Israelites, so they can't be a part. They wasn't a part of the old covenant, and they not a part of the new covenant. So guess what? Their sins is skyrocketing. To the point to where the Lord is going to judge them with a fierce judgment, much worse than what he did with the children of Israel. Now, you think our slavery And you think our 14 captivities was bad? Nah, bro. The shit that's coming to the white man is even worse, bro. It's even worse, bro. And the Lord is not gonna show no mercy on him. He gonna destroy his world. He gonna destroy his empires, and he gonna put him in slavery. And the slavery is gonna be the worst slavery ever told. That's what the Bible says. It is right. That's right. Because after they lose this fight, the elites. This is what the elites gonna do after the race wars get out of control in World War III. They call in the World War III plan, quote unquote, to get these nations to paratroop drop on the Israelites to fight them. And after all that's said and done, and they still get their ass kicked, and the white man still get his ass kicked, these elites, they're gonna run underground, leave the rest of these white people to die, and the Israelites is gonna destroy them. They even gonna have them already in pre-slavery, and on top of that, man, they just gonna leave them. They just gonna leave them to die. That's the worst of the worst. A lot of these low-level white people, they gonna get left on the surface, man. They're gonna get locked out, bro. They're not gonna go down there with the elites when it's time for them to run. They're gonna be up here fighting for their life. They're gonna be already in slavery. The Israelites is gonna do whatever the fuck they want with them. Slaughter them, kill them, rape them, all kind of shit. And still kill them anyway. Because at the end of the day, bro, that's not the actual slavery, but I'm just saying what they gonna do when they get their hands on these white people, and these white people can't no longer fight. When World War III is all said and done, and they on their way to the nuclear bombs getting dropped, all that, their last resort, that is exactly what's going to happen. So it's like, for right now, that's exactly what they're afraid of. They don't want to go in slavery, so they want to fight. He has to come out and fight. It makes perfect sense. That's the most fucking perfect sense. There is no other answer to what's about to happen to these white niggas, especially the white man. He fucking annoying, bro. He racist. He evil. He don't let shit go. He childish, jealous, most importantly jealous, and he be hating on his, and it's the dumbest of the white niggas, man. I'm not talking about all of them. It's the dumbest of these white niggas, these real racist, redneck white niggas, man. They agree with the elites say, but these motherfuckers poor, they homeless. A lot of these motherfuckers is getting kicked out of mid-class, and they still believe in the ideologies of the elites, man. And all of that was to divide and conquer. They do that with their own people. So they got you to attack the blacks, even though they're not responsible for your downfall. Actually, the blacks ain't responsible for nothing. And you racist toward them for their skin color for no fucking reason. Them the ones that's really got to go. A lot of them got to go. And it's a lot of white niggas that feel like that. And they feel like, well, we would rather have the elites rule over us than them, because if the blacks rule over us, the Israelites rule over us, we're going into slavery. Of course you are. You gotta pay your. Of course you are. That's what they're afraid of. They don't want to pay that price, but they got to. It's inevitable. It's fucking inevitable, bro. Like, you have to pay the price, bro. I don't care, bro. That's why they doing what they doing right now. Donald Trump is trying to push the agenda forward with releasing National Guard and then announce martial law. Now the National Guard is at war. They call it urban guerrilla warfare, and they at war with the gangs and the 2/3 that's in the neighborhood, and with those of us that are innocent. So it's like you got to get prepared at the same time, because in the next fucking year or two, because right now a lot of these states is denying martial law, because when they enact martial law, they immediately place the power of the politics and the mayor and anybody that's in charge of their state into the hands of the military. That's what they do, into the hands of the National Guard and military, meaning that your mayor is no longer in power. It is a unidentified fucking military troop with a goddamn ski mask on that's in power. You don't even know who these people are. You don't even know their faces. You don't know what they look like. You don't even know. And like they said, based on what had happened with the immigrants being allowed in, a lot of the sleeper cells got into the nation, got into America. So a lot of them are troops that came from the different nations anyway. They came from the distant nations anyway. So it's like the invaders are already here. A portion of them from different other nations, that these white niggas run, they already in here. So, they already got their own little militaries. They already got their little sleeper cells, and they gonna pose as martial law. You know, you're going to be attacked by some of these people, and you're going to remove the ski mask off these dead military, and some of them going to be black. Some of them going to be just like you. Some of them going to be Chinese. Some of them going to be Russian. You know, some of them going to be Japanese. Like, what in the hell is going on? A lot of the Israelites ain't going to understand. Like that one movie on Purge, when they had locked down the projects, and they was coming and they was killing all the blacks, and it was killing all of our people. And our people had to fight back, and it was killing off those people that came to purge their shit. And they ended up overthrowing them. See, this white nigga know the ending of his story, bro. He know that they gonna win. Because at the end of the Purge movie, I think it was the first election, I think it was. And the first time it started in the projects. It started as an experiment for the project. So they released the Purge on the Israelites. They released the Purge on us. And all of them white people started coming to kill our people. They had our own people trying to kill each other. It was tested though. So instead of them purging, they had a lot of the Israelite people was just partying. So they had to let in sleeper cells, and one of them sleeper cells was like some psycho ass black nigga, and he started killing people. He was really taking lives. He was really taking lives for the fuck of doing it. And that was another sign that they would let out criminals, deranged criminals of our own people that don't mind killing us. And they don't mind getting paid, and they don't mind joining the white man ranks and going out there and killing our own people. And a lot of that shit is gonna happen, bro. It's a lot of these movies that a lot of people be watching that is gonna actually happen because it was planned. It was meant to happen. And on top of that, the elites know prophecy. They know prophecy. So it's like, you know, with that being said, they gotta fight. They gotta attack. The white people gotta attack. This is their last chance. After this, it might not even be another president. That's why Donald Trump is trying to lock it down with the martial law. So it ain't gonna be no more elections, no more politics, nobody to go against the elites. It'll be what the elites say and what they do. That's it. Donald Trump is just following orders from this shadow government. That's it. That's it. It says, and this is what's gonna happen to him. It says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you. So that's exactly what he's telling our people. This is exactly what he's telling our people. Give them what they gave you. Give them what they gave you. They gave you slavery. They gave you murder. They gave you pestilence. They gave you the sword. They gave you famine. This is real. They gave you oppression. They gave you racism. They gave you segregation. They gave you self-destruction. They gave you drugs. They destroyed our people to the point to where they hope that we can never recover. But guess what our people are doing as a whole? As a whole, they getting up, they moving on, they're adapting. That's what's happening. This is why he got to come out and go to all-out war with the Israelites, because every situation he throw at them, they adapt and they become stronger. They adapt, we adapt, and we become stronger. We get used to it. Like they said, right now with the tariffs and all that and everything getting more and more expensive, all the Israelites is doing is adapting to it. That's all that they're doing. They're becoming stronger, you know? And like, well, we're gonna work on that. You know, we'll figure it out. You know, that's not a big deal. You know, we'll get over it. It ain't nothing new. We remember we didn't have nothing. You know, when the Israelites were in slavery, they didn't have shit. So what's worse than what he doing right now? It ain't shit. It's fucking sugar. It's fucking sugar compared to the shit that they went through, that our ancestors went through, that we went through, that we still going through. You know. So with that being said, this is nothing. This is a cakewalk compared to what happened to them in the past. But it's not to say for the white people that it's inflicting right now, because there's a lot of white people that don't know what to do, that they're afraid of the fall of America. They don't understand why the elites is doing what they're doing, and they're destroying their own nation. They're not respecting the fact that the elites is turning their back on their own people. They starting to admit, like, damn, we was wrong for the way we treated the blacks. We was wrong to ignore their warnings. Now that we got Donald Trump, which is a puppet, even though Kamala Harris was a puppet too. You know, we didn't team up with the blacks to overthrow these people, because you could easily overthrow them. But now the blacks don't even need you to overthrow them. They don't need you, because you showed that you would work with the enemy for your benefits, even though you got scammed. You didn't get nothing out of the situation, nothing. And a lot of the privileges and a lot of things and a lot of programs and a lot of money is being pulled from the whites. Because, you know, most of the whites exist in mid-class. Now mid-class is destroyed, and these whites don't know what to do because all the pressure is on the side of them. And they done loaded all them responsibilities, everything that they used to take care of, on their backs. And they could handle it like nothing. You know, like 4 or 5 years ago, they could handle it like nothing. They wasn't worried about shit. They didn't look the other way. They didn't care about us. They didn't give a fuck. Until they ended up in the fire with us. Now we coming out of the fire, they ended up in the fire, you know? And now they don't know what the fuck to do. Them motherfuckers is burning up right now. They don't know what to do. They can't afford their house. They can't afford to feed their kids right now. You know, they overworking themselves. Some of them, that one job that used to pay for everything is no longer enough. Their food is dwindling. Some probably got to what do they call it? Voluntarily repossess their car. Give up your expensive ass car so you can save money. It's a lot of shit that's happening. Mid-class is gone, bro. Especially the white mid-class. That shit is level, bro. You know, the blacks, the niggas and Mexicans and the Indians, all they doing is adapting. And despite what's going on with the deportations, it's still a gang of Mexicans. It's still a gang Hispanics. They everywhere. It's millions of them, bro. This little deportation really ain't shit. It's just pissing them off. That's all that's doing. They a great number too. I ain't gonna lie, they was wrong for voting for Donald Trump. They was wrong. You was wrong. You know, but at the end of the day, it's a lot of Mexicans on the inside that know. Like, that shit was wrong what y'all did. This is the reason why we being attacked first. And then they gonna come after the niggas next and the Indians. But they got us first because we actually believed that we white. We actually believed that we a part of them because of our skin color, and you know damn well you black. Stupid. But that's all that it's doing right now is pissing them off, bro. When that time comes, they gonna strike back. You just gotta give them enough time for it to happen. You know, so for right now, shit, let them get their ass kicked, bro. I keep seeing it on the news everywhere, like just deportation, all this shit. How you doing? You know you're Israelite according to the Bible? Go ahead, never mind. Yeah, she don't care. But yeah, man. I see this shit all over the fucking news, man. All over the news, man. And this is all over Hispanic news. This is all that they complain about. This is all they complain about, bro. Like, they mad about the deportations. They mad, but you gotta understand, it's millions of them. It's millions of Mexicans, billions of them. You can't really get rid of them. It's too many. It's too many. They are without number. What the fuck is going on with these people? They just showing, but they just want to show. That's what the elites want to show. They want to show that they doing something. So the white people can be like, oh, yay, and this and that. The evil-ass white people, because you got some of these white people that are actually pretty cool, and they moved on with the blacks. They moved on with them. They didn't support the racism or none of that. They like, we need each other to survive. In fact, you don't really need us. We need you. And they're like, fuck it, we about to move on. And that's exactly what happened. They moved on with the blacks. And left behind all that racism, left behind that shit. So it's a lot of white people that's not really down with this shit, bro. They don't like this shit. And it's affecting them too. It's affecting them too. So it's like when you look at that shit, you got that understanding that one is coming out of the fire and one is entering the fire. And it don't look good. It don't look good at all. So it says, this is what's happening. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you. It says, and double unto her according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled to her double. It says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. That's right. These elites lived deliciously. I'm trying to tell you, niggas got so much money. Elites got so much money. Them niggas flying to other planets. These niggas got houses on other planets. Houses on the moon. They're trying to make mansions on the Mars. They got safe like underground cities, man, that look just like up here. It look just like up here, but it's down there, man. All that shit down there. All the food. They got all the money. They can have anything that they want. They can make their own nation if they wanted to. The elite nation. They can make their own shit, you know. Liquidated money, bro. These motherfuckers are so rich, it's to the beyond your comprehension, bro. to the point to where it's just like, damn, bro, like this shit, and it's a few people. It's not even a lot of elites. It's just a good handful of elites that got the world's treasure, and that's not even the actual treasure, but it's part of it. It's like a small part of it. That's what a lot of people don't understand, that money is just a small part of life. It's just what you need to survive. That's it. Everything else is bigger problems than just money. It's bigger problems than just that. And me, I'm learning the same thing too. Like I'm learning about the gym. Like, you know, how your body is worth more than money. You are worth more than money. You know, and the more you better yourself, the more valuable you become. You know, right now, especially if you Black Israelite in this nation, you know, especially if you're Israelite in this nation, you got a nice body and all that. A lot of that, your body, because people still act on trade as well as they act on money. But, you know, at the end of the day, from what I see, when your body is the most valuable thing, and it'll get you the women, it'll get you anything that you want, and you don't have to pay for anything because you've already paid for it through your hard work, through your body. Now, that's expensive, but at the end of the day, that's what a lot of niggas is happening. They're having these niggas is having a hard time right now. I'm sorry to change the subject, but this is what it is. These niggas is having a hard time with women, and men in general out here with women. You know why? Because they choose not to upgrade. They choose not to evolve. And I'm starting to understand that more and more every day. You know? And a lot of men are walking away from women because they can't meet their demand. And their demands are pretty simple. But it do take years to gain. But it's worth it when you gain it, because it put all the control in your hands. So what they doing is they listening to the media. They listening to these other outlets are telling you, if you make the money, you make the girl. You know, or it's this one song by Young Thug that say, first you get the money, then you get the power. It don't work like that. You got to get the power, then you get the money. That's how it works. That's why a lot of these niggas that be rich as fuck and bony as hell, scrawny, they didn't work on their bodies. They put all their effort into the money, into schooling, and got all this material possession and can't keep no woman. You know, because the money was never truly the answer. The money is just part of that. It's just a small part of that shit. Everything else is much, much more bigger sections to fill. But this nation is making niggas lazy. So now you got a lot of bony, drugged out ass niggas. And then you got a lot of obese fat niggas that want to get drunk, that want to eat all day, and that want to sit on their ass. And they put all their dedication to work, but they never work on themselves. So when you get off work, that don't mean that you stop working. You got to work on yourself too. It's a lot difficult for a man. It's a lot difficult for a man. Guess what? Just because you're not doing nothing on your day off, you still got to work on yourself. You know, you still got to work on yourself. You still got to take your ass to the gym. You got to work on your lats. You got to work on your biceps. You know, you got to work on your abs. You got to work on your chest. All that shit is different other departments. But that's what the elites today don't understand. You know, is that money? That's the whole point of what I'm saying. Money ain't shit. Money ain't shit. It's just something to get you by. It's other shit that you got to have in possession to make you more powerful. You know? And they don't have the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They'll never have that. That's the real money. They'll never be able to be an Israelite. That's real money. Real currency. But they feel like in their mind that the material possessions of this earth make them rich. Now, like I said, that's a little part of something much bigger. Yes, it is true. But 9 times out of 10, money ain't the full scope of your life. Hell no. Hell no. That's where people that's where men is fucking up at. That's where people fucking up at. Money ain't shit. It says, but they did live good off that shit. I ain't gonna lie. Them niggas live good off that money. I ain't gonna lie. Because when you got that kind of riches, you got that kind of money, you got that kind of power, you ain't got to lift a finger. You ain't got to do nothing. You ain't got to go to work. You'll never be homeless. You can have your clothes tailor-made. You know your jewelry is real. You know, because there's niggas out there buying jewelry that they think is real, but it's not. You know, you are immune. You immune to the law. You can get away with anything that you fucking want because you're immune to the law. Like, it's shit that they can do that we can't do, you know? What an average person would get in trouble for, an elite would never get in trouble for that shit. They'll get away from that shit because they own the police, you know? Because they run the military, you know? They own these assassin guilds, you know? The shit that you see in John Wick, they own that shit. They own the fraternities, you know? They own the continents, you know, these places where these high professional killers get paid to kill anybody across the world, any important figure. They run all that shit. So it's like, you know, it does have its perks. It does have its perks. It says she and lived deliciously. Yeah, they did. So much torment and sorrow give her. It says, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and I shall see no sorrow. Meaning that they ain't got to go through war. They not going to lose no war. They going to always win. They going to always be at the top. That's what these white niggas is doing. They want to, and according to one of the laws in Freemasonry, they tell you do whatever it takes to win. It don't matter whether you got to kill, steal, or destroy. Do whatever it takes to win. They do whatever it takes. They spare it to no expense. They make winning their highest priority, bro. So you think you want to win? No, this motherfucker desperate to win. But by the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's destined to lose. That's why it's happening. He's not even in control of his own life. None of us are. But this motherfucker feel like he got free will. That's why he designed the free will theory. There is no such thing as free will. You got to ask to move ahead through Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got to ask for permission to live longer through the power and spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You got to ask for this shit, man. You don't get no full control over your life. Nobody has free will. We just think that we do. Or we feel to a degree, to a smaller degree. You can control your left and right, but you're not going to be able to control the day that you missed the intersection and you ran a red light and the car hit your ass and it was just inevitable. You could never escape it, you know? You couldn't control the day that the disease finally spread out and shut down all your organs and you passed away. You can't control that, you know? That is those times and dates and seasons that's set for you to die. And that's how the Lord works. He shows you that you're not in control of nothing. Like I said in the Bible, how can a man know his own way? You know, that nigga don't know where the fuck he going. The Lord gotta guide you. Fucking stupid. Hold on, I gotta see what time it is because I gotta get up out of here. It's time for me to go. It's time to go. But it says, and this is the Lord talking. It says, how much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give to her. It says, for she said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and I shall see no war. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, all her plagues. It says, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh who judges her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Because when they destroy and they blow up America, they're going to blow up the heart of the trade. And all of that is going to be a shockwave, and it's going to make these nations go broke. It says, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. Because everybody going to know the Lord did it. Everybody going to know. That's when motherfuckers going to shut up. When them nuclear bombs pop off, that's when they going to shut up. And that's why he doing what he doing, because he know he got a short time. He's running out of time. It ain't that much time. He got to hurry up and do what he got to do, man. Because he know that the Lord is pushing him to that day. The Lord is pushing him to his destiny, you know. And there's nothing that these white niggas can do. That's why they so fucking mad right now. That's why a lot of us is getting hatred. And then again, it's stupidity. Because we know racism is just a scam. It really is just a fucking scam, bro. So you hating the blacks and you blaming them. You blaming the Israelites for no fucking reason. You coming down on them for no fucking reason. You know? For no fucking reason at all, bro. And them the ones, and the Israelites is the ones that's trying to better the country, bro. They're not trying to destroy it. They're trying to better it. But hey, such is the destiny, such is the truth. These Israelites got to figure out that they are who the Bible says they are. Who Yahweh say they are. They are. And it's going to become more evident. It's going to become more evident when martial law take place and they start to attack our people. It's going to become more evident. Hello. You know you're Israelite according to the Bible? Yeah, they don't want to listen to it. See? So when the hammer come down, you know, they can't say that they wasn't warned, you know? And with that, calling Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Rakakodash. And this has been the time. His time is short, and I'm about to get on about my day. My bus is coming. But anybody that hear this or anybody that's listening, and even the enemy that's listening, you already know what it is with me. Shalom. I'm out of here.